Governor Greg Abbott is getting major kudos online for his latest move to stop the Islamification of Texas. But before you pat him on the back, here's what you need to know. Welcome back to Come and Take It. So we are in election season. We are in full-blown election season. And what that typically means in the state of Texas is that our governor gets really tough on issues all of a sudden. He gets really tough in his rhetoric. He makes many social media posts, and it all sounds very super duper tough. So last election was, we had the 2022 election season. He had spent 2 years waiting for Ron DeSantis in Florida to stand up to all of these draconian COVID policies. And then once DeSantis would have the courage to do something, once he had the courage to actually stand up and say, we're not doing this, we're not tolerating this in the state of Florida, saying no to mask mandates, keeping schools open, whatever the policy was, allowing people to go to work so they could feed their families. I know, novel concept, right? Like the idea that a governor should allow the people of his state to go to their jobs, to work so that they get a paycheck and feed their families. Wow. Controversial, right? What a novel concept. And so Ron DeSantis would be out there making all of these big moves, actually doing something. And then 2 weeks later, Greg Abbott would be like, yeah, me too. What he said, I agree with that. His policy, Greg Abbott's policy, is basically shaped by licking his finger and putting it up in the air to determine which direction the wind is blowing, and then making the most politically advantageous call to him that he thinks he could make in that time. Now, I know. If you don't live here, I get it. If you don't live here, you're in another state. There are a lot of states that look at Texas and they're like, oh my God, you're so lucky to have such a conservative governor.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
I mean, okay, sure. Maybe if you're in like Ohio, like maybe if you're living in New Jersey during Chris Christie, it's all in the perspective. Because for me, I am here in Texas and I am a staunch conservative. And I look at this and I'm like, he's milquetoast. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed by this. I'm going to lick my finger and see which way the wind is blowing. And then I'm going to come out real tough once I know that other people are already coming out real tough on something. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. By the way, I realize they don't, Governor Abbott's office, they're not fans of me, okay? Because I call it like it is. I'm not a politician, so I don't have to play the games with them. People have to realize here in the state of Texas, Governor Abbott controls the war chest. Governor Abbott controls all of this money. And because of that, he is able to control so many of our politicians. They can't say anything bad about him. Because if they do, he'll get really mad and he'll turn off the funds. So everyone stays quiet and plays nice and they pat him on the back whenever he actually does something good every once in a while. And other than that, they stay in their own lane and they don't say anything because nobody wants to wage war with Greg Abbott. Guess what? I am not a politician. I don't care. I'll call balls and strikes how they are. And he has been weak on so many different things that we would expect Texas to lead on. Instead of leading, he is following. And so on the topic of what is happening with Islam and this Islamic infiltration into this country and specifically in the state of Texas, okay, I want to do something. Because I call balls and strikes, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. And then I'm going to explain the context, as the great Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. And then after I give you everything in its totality, perhaps you can determine how serious Greg Abbott is about preventing the Islamification of Texas. Because last week, this was last Tuesday, Governor Abbott posted on X, he said, "Today I designated the Muslim Brotherhood and Council on American Islamic Relations, that is also known as CAIR, as foreign terrorist and transnational criminal organizations. This bans them from buying or acquiring land in Texas and authorizes the Attorney General to sue to shut them down." Now that's great. It was great. It was leading all the headlines. Everyone's like, oh my God, Texas is so tough on all the Islamic infiltration and the mosques and the crazy conquest to take over the country and Western civilization. Like, wow, Greg Abbott what a great move.
Yay.
Okay. So, yes, that is good policy. Yes, it's a great social media post. It racked up all of the likes and the views. A lot of people outside of Texas are like, wow, Governor Abbott is so conservative. This is huge. Okay, well, first of all, these organizations, CAIR is now suing. So we'll see how that plays out. Of course, I do trust in our great Attorney General, Ken Paxton, to be able to defend the state of Texas in these things. But it's just like the biggest problem that I have is that we're getting mixed messaging from Greg Abbott. So you tell me why, on one hand, Governor Abbott is like, nah, I'm banning Muslim Brotherhood from owning land and buying up land in the state of Texas. And on the other hand, he's like, but let's just funnel money to these mosques and organizations who represent, the Muslim Brotherhood. What you're looking at is a chart from Middle East Forum that shows $13 million in FEMA money that the governor's office has distributed to certain mosques and Islamic organizations. Now, here's a video that explains the program. Notice the rich irony in what this is actually supposed to be for.
Did you know there is funding that can help your nonprofit organization prepare for and protect against terrorist and extremist attacks? More than $1 billion in funding has been awarded through the Nonprofit Security Grant Program. Nonprofit organizations such as places of worship or educational institutions can use these funds for things like acquiring security equipment or installing cybersecurity protections. If you are considering applying, contact your state administrative agency or SAA. They can tell you what documents to submit and guide you through the application process. To find the SAA in the state or territory where your facility is located, go to fema.gov/grants and search SAA.
Here again from the Texas government website explaining how to apply for the grant. Again, eligible organizations are able to demonstrate through the application that the organization is at high risk of a terrorist attack. I don't know. It seems to be they're the ones bringing in the terrorists themselves. Explain to me how those things track. It's almost like we're in an election season, and in election seasons, we get real tough about the things that we hear people are really mad about, but we don't actually care about. We don't actually plan on following through on, Greg. That's what that sounds a whole lot to me like. Because if you truly believe that these organizations are a problem, you will not only cut off all funding to any organization, any mosque, any association, I don't care what it is, if it has ties to these organizations, Muslim Brotherhood, CAIR, Hamas, and other organizations like it, you should not only cut off the funds, you should do literally everything within your power to shut these organizations down and to get them the hell out of our state. That's what I would do if I were a serious governor.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Now, on top of that, in 2019, members of Congress called for an investigation into MAS, Muslim American Society Organization, after one of its branches in Philadelphia hosted an event in which children sang about torturing and beheading Jews. Great people over there with MAS. A founder of the MAS Katie Center, Maine Alcalde,
Bless you.
declared in rulings published by the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America that women may not engage in public speaking and insists that girls must be taught to wear the hijab from the age of 7. This same person has admitted that while in Jordan, he advocated for the imposition of Islamic law instead of secular law, and disclosed involvement with the Muslim Brotherhood in Jordan. It's right in front of our faces. They're just doing it in broad daylight and expecting you to be too scared to say something for fear of being called an Islamophobe or a racist or a xenophobe. Insert phobe here. That's what they're expecting from you. Today, Mos Katie frequently invites prominent supporters and advocates of the Muslim Brotherhood to its events. So which is it, Greg? Are you tough on the Islamic infiltration or aren't you? The people of Texas need to know. The people of Texas actually need to know right now. This is we're very serious about this. I know you just got to the scene. I know we've been talking about this for a while and you just came onto the scene and were like, oh, yeah, I agree. We hate this. It's just that your past actions, Greg, don't really track with you not liking this. So which is it? Because if it's true, you're going to need to follow up these actions with more actions to prove it, including one of the biggest tells will be whether or not he works to stop Epic City. Now, remember, Epic City is this all-Muslim enclave. They've got this huge all-inclusive development. It's going to have retail. It's going to have mosques. It's going to have parks. It's going to have housing. It's going to be, they'll never have to leave. They'll never have to leave their Muslim compound. And with the HOAs, most of the fees of the HOAs will go to the mosque. And here's the problem, is that there are a lot of a lot of viewers that I've heard from, a lot of people who follow me on social media that anytime I post about Epic City, they're like, no, Governor Abbott already shut that down. He said so. He said so in an X post. He said so in many X posts. He's like, very tough talk, like that won't be allowed in the state of Texas. And on top of that, it was just like last week. He made a social media post saying the Epic City development scheme would have forced homeowners to pay non-refundable fees straight to a mosque and restricted owners' ability to sell their homes in order to maintain an Islamic enclave. Texas outlawed that fraudulent and discriminatory scheme and ended the Epic development. That is what your governor said. Is it actually true?
Real Texan. I hope you'll sit down with Texas Scorecard every Sunday as we visit with real Texans who are doing real things to make the Lone Star State shine even brighter. We're going to be talking to activists and politicians, but we're also going to be talking with men and women who are shaping business in Texas and driving for a better culture.
Well, according to Collin County Judge Chris Hill, Epic City is just going on under a new name called the Meadow. Because according to the local county official, he said, I got the email, okay? I received this email in my inbox and I took a screenshot of it. This is directly from my email. Development Group Community Capital Partners, LLC. This is also known as CCP. CCP, when I read CCP on this, that does not mean Chinese Communist Party. This is just the Community Capital Partners, the development group, appears to be getting ready to submit their plans to Collin County for review. CCP is the company behind Epic City, an Islamic-focused community planned near Josephine, Texas, in Collin and Hunt counties. According to a diagram of the planned neighborhood, the developers have changed the name of the project to The Meadow. No plot has been filed with Collin County, but there are reports that CCP have filed or soon intend to file an application with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality to form a municipal utility district for the development project. County officials also expect a plot application to be filed with the county soon. Well, the local official, who I would expect would have a little bit more like ears to the ground on this, local officials are sending out emails saying not only is this still going on, this is still going on with a new name so that people don't talk about it because they know that this is something that people are trying to stop. They just think if they rebrand it, no one will pay attention and actually do anything about it. Meanwhile, Greg Abbott is saying, we shut it down, we stopped it. There's so many of you. Whenever I make these videos about this stuff that's still happening right under our noses, and people are like, no, that's not true. Greg Abbott shut it down. He shut it down. He didn't. He didn't. Go ask Collin County Judge Chris Hill. He's literally saying these people are rebranding and they plan to resubmit all of their stuff. And is Greg Abbott going to do anything? That remains to be seen. He doesn't have a great track record, though. He's got a great track record of posting on X. Really tough talk, all hat, no cattle, all bark, no bite. So let's see, because we need right now, in this moment, with the Islamification of Texas actually happening right underneath our noses, we need true leadership and true conviction, not a finger-licking policy to see which way the wind is blowing. This needs to be handled now. In fact, I would argue we are already way too far gone. The course correct is going to be painful, but necessary. Okay? And by the way, in closing, I would just like to say this. I take a lot of offense to people who accuse me because I am criticizing Islam. They will say things like, oh, are you getting paid by Israel? Oh, what a sellout. Oh, you love the Israeli government so much. That's why you're criticizing Islam. Guys, don't be daft, okay? Two things can be true at once. You can be both critical of the Israeli government involved in the United States politics. You can be both critical of the Israeli government's handling of things and also say that Islam has no place in the United States and Islam is incompatible with our United States and our Constitution. You can actually believe both things at once. Okay? I don't understand where critical thinking has gone here. It's like, oh, these people are being deluded into being like pro-Islam because they're skeptics of the Israeli government. Like, have you lost your minds? You can say whatever you want about the Israeli government all day long and their influence in the United States and how bad that is. And I agree, it is bad. But there is one group and one group only who is openly discussing conquering the West by takeover and infiltration. There is only one group that wants us to submit or die. There's only one, okay? And it's not Israel. So all of these things can all be true at the same time. I'm so sick of not being able to have a nuanced conversation about that. Guys, like, get a grip, get a brain, get functioning brain cells, get some critical thinking skills. It's not hard. But right now, like, there is a clear and present danger of Islam and its influence. Especially, go take a look in Florida, where men just got charged with a felony because they went and ate bacon while Muslims were praying in a parking lot. They were just eating bacon and taunting them. Who cares? This is America. This is my country. And you know what? It is an American's right to eat bacon wherever the hell they want. That is part of America, all right?
It's in the Constitution.
Bacon, all the freaking bacon. And if you don't like it, you should leave. We should make it very, very inhospitable for these people to be here. And we shouldn't have to feel like we're going to get charged with a felony for doing so, especially when there was no violence, there was no trespassing, there was nothing. Just eating bacon, which honestly, I think is brilliant. I think we need to have more of that. And I think we need to have more of that without fear of some sort of legal repercussions. How would Greg Abbott feel about that? I don't know. Maybe you should ask him. Time will tell. TikTok, Greg. Time will tell how serious you are about stopping this. Because the people are awake and they're tired of it. All right, make sure you let me know how you feel in the comments about this issue. What are you thinking? Do you think that Greg Abbott is team pro-Islam, or is he actually serious about stopping it? Let me know. Make sure you're subscribed to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered on YouTube, and make sure that you are subscribed to the playlist. Come and take it so you don't miss a thing. We are going to be taking next week off because of all of the Thanksgiving and winter breaks. So we appreciate you guys. Make sure to tune in for the next episode. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Come and take it.